When I first started out as an audio engineer, I wasted years learning, growing. Had I known these 5 things, I would have saved time, money, effort, frustration. Let's dive in so I can save you having to make the mistakes that I made. If we haven't met, my name is Donnie Baker. I'm the owner of Grammy-winning ES Audio Recording Studios in Los Angeles, California, and I'm here to help you to not make the mistakes that I've made. Let's go take a look at the 5 things that you should know if you want to be an audio engineer. Okay, the number one thing that I see, that I made the mistake, the number one thing that I see everybody making the same mistake is that you think you got to have gear to make the thing happen. No, that's a mistake. I've actually heard people say, oh, I can't do that until I get the thing. I can't do this job until I buy this plugin. I can't do the thing until I buy this new shiny guitar. No, what's wrong with your old guitar? What's wrong with the plugin that you already have access to? Look, bro, an equalizer is an equalizer. It does one thing. It manipulates frequencies. You either boost it or cut it. Yeah, it does it different. Cool. You've got your favorite. Awesome. What's wrong with the one that comes with your DAW? There's nothing wrong with the EQ that's already inside your DAW. You don't have to wait until you can buy the new Pro Q4 that's got the little graph behind it that shows you what frequency you're trying to think of. Stop. Just listen and go do the thing. Okay, gear doesn't matter as much as you think. That is the number one thing that I see pretty much everybody that's getting in here. They make it a problem. It's not a problem, bro. If you got a computer, you've got an interface, you've got a microphone, and you got some headphones, my friend, you are ready to begin making money as an audio engineer. Trust me. Okay, number 2, and this is a big one. Signal flow is absolutely everything. I'm gonna say that one more time because this is super important. Signal flow is absolutely everything in this entire job. You see this room behind me? I know exactly where every signal comes from, and I know exactly where every signal goes to. I know exactly where everything goes through before it gets to the other side because I built it, because I understand signal flow. It took me many, many years in trial and error to figure out how this stuff works. How does this thing go from here to here, but I need it to go over here and then come back here all at the same time? What the hell is a patch bay? And why do I need one? And what the hell, why do we have 14 different configurations on a patch bay? That's an exaggeration, bro. There's only 4. But you see what I'm saying? You know, if you've got patch bays like I've got right here, I know exactly where every jack comes from. I know exactly where every jack goes to, and I know exactly how every jack is supposed to operate, whether it's fully normal, half normal, through however, whatever it is. I know how it is. I know what it is because I built it and I understand it. So understanding signal flow is the absolute first thing you should do. Even if it's simple, dude, get out a piece of paper and draw your signal. Okay, my microphone is here. And then from the microphone, it goes through the little cable and goes over to the interface. On the interface, it's got the gain knob, and then it's got a trim knob. And then from there, it can go over to the headphones, and I got another knob for the headphones. And then I want it to go. You see what I'm saying? You have to understand signal flow. So knowing this is gonna save you tons of time, and it's gonna prevent embarrassing mistakes when you have a client sitting next to you in the room. Okay, the number 3 thing, clients care about vibe. They don't really care about the sound. Yes, they care about the sound. Now, don't let me fool you. They do care about how things sound, but it's all about how they feel when they're in your studio. It's all about how they feel when they're working with you in a studio, whether it's your studio or their studio or someone else's studio. It's all about you and your vibe in your studio, man. It's all about your vibe. Look, this is not the cleanest. It's not clean. I got stuff everywhere. Look, there's stuff sitting right there. There's rolls of tape. I think that's my earbuds are sitting there. Bro, no, there's actually, if you can look right there's a coffee cup. It's probably been there for 2 days. It's not about that, man. It's about, hey, how does it feel when you're in the room? Does it feel vibey? Does it feel inviting? Does it feel comfortable for the client to be creative? I mean, engineering is 50% technical and 50% people skills. If the client doesn't like you, or you piss the client off, bro, you are never gonna work with that person ever again. I'm serious. Now look, I actually have clients. Okay, that won't work with me. Now, as a person, we could go hang out. We'll go have drinks. We'll go have dinner. We're kind of friends. We can hang out in the lounge in the studio, but they won't have me engineer their record. There's just something between me and them that clashed one time. And now they won't use me as an engineer, which is totally fine. They love my space. They love my studio, but they don't want to work with me. I can bring in an outside engineer to work with them when this happens. Okay, it's not a problem. I've got a couple of clients like that. They love being here, but they'd rather work with another engineer in my room. Now, I'm not a dick. I'm really not. It was just a matter of one time we worked together and we butted heads on an idea or a sound or something, and they're like, oh, I don't ever want to work with you again. Cool, we're good. I'm fine with that. It's all about people skills. Now, there are other clients that won't work with anyone but me here in this studio because they may have worked with another person at another studio. They may have worked with an engineer here in my studio and said, no, I can't work with that guy. No, I can't work with that girl. It's just, we're not working. I need to work with you. I only want to work with you. That's perfect. That's part of the gig. You know, now because I own the studio, I can't work every session every day. I've got other things I've got to do, and which we're actually going to get to that, and that's actually number 5. Okay, we're going to talk about that in a minute. So you can have the best mix, but if the artist doesn't feel comfortable, they're not going to come back. And opposite of that, if they don't feel comfortable, but your mix kind of sucks, they might feel super comfortable. I'm going to do that again. I'm going to do that one more time. They might feel super comfortable being, your mix is not the greatest, but they love working with you. They're going to come back, man. It's because it's about the vibe. It's about the people. Yeah, look, I did a gig. I did a thing yesterday. It was a remote gig. The client was out of town, but he still wanted to work on a song. He's like, he's one of those guys that's like, bro, I got to work with you. You're awesome. He's in New York, and he calls me. He's like, bro, I gotta work. I got a song. I want to work on a song. Cool. So he sent me this raw song that he worked. I think he recorded it in GarageBand on his laptop, on the plane or something, and it wasn't that bad. It wasn't that bad. Some of the sounds that were used were like, I don't know, bro. But redid a couple of the sounds. He redid his vocals with a new vibe, with a new, after we got the instrumentation all working right, he threw his vocals down. I think he had a crappy USB mic with him. He's working in New York this week. He had a crappy USB mic. Send me the thing. Bro, I mixed it once, sent it to him, and he had a note. He had one note. He said, bro, it's not loud enough. If you could make it a little bit louder. So I basically turned it up a little bit at the master fader. He literally texted me just now, you probably heard it ring, and he said, bro, this is the best mix you've ever done. Greatest song ever. I love it. We're done. The sound you just heard was my Venmo being stacked. And this is what I'm talking about. Okay, that's exactly what I'm saying. It's not about being the best, not about being the fastest, not about being technical and super like geeky and stuff. It's about building relationships. Sessions are supposed to be fun, bro. The artist is going to trust you, and they're going to call you when they're on vacation in New York. Okay, mixing. This is a whole thing, bro. This can get deep. It cannot get deep. I'm not going to get too deep today, okay, on mixing. We're just going to talk about how less is more. We're going to talk about minimal mixing, okay? Stop using 400 plugins on your vocals, on your vocal chain. Stop. There's absolutely no reason. And somebody gonna get mad at me for saying this. There's absolutely no reason to use 4 EQs on a vocal. Bro. Seriously. There's no reason to have 2 de-essers, 4 EQs, 6 compressors, and then you're sending it to 3 different reverbs and 4 different delays. What is wrong with you? What? Did you not record this correctly? Was this not recorded well? Did you not record it? And now you're having to deal with this by using all these tools? Stop. The problem is, and here's the problem. I'm not yelling at you personally. Here's the problem. I'm yelling at everybody overall. Okay, here's the problem. You've got access to too much stuff. Put down the stuff. Stop buying plugins. Don't buy another plugin. You don't need 6 million plugins. I think I told y'all this the other day. It might have been I was on live the other night. And I haven't used Logic on this system in a minute. So I don't know if any Logic users are out there. If you haven't used Logic in a minute, it has to look at all your plugins and go, let me just check all your plugins, make sure we're good. It literally had to go look through all my plugins on this computer. There was 1,498 plugins it had to look at. It took 10 minutes for Logic to come up because it had to go look at all these plugins and make sure we were good. And my point is, why do I need 1,498 plugins? I don't. The reason that I have so many plugins on this system is that because we are a commercial studio, sometimes clients come in here and they've used a specific plugin on their track, and now they're coming in here to mix. They expect me to have that plugin on my system. That's why I have it. Yes, I have the Pro Q3. Yes, I have the Pro Q4. I don't use them, but I have them on here if somebody needs them. Okay, so here's what we're talking about with mixing. When you're new, you're gonna wanna add all kind of plugins all over the place because you're watching these people on YouTube that are telling you how to do. Dude, bro, I saw a YouTube video the other day. The guy was saying, if you want to set a compressor for a female vocal, you have to set your threshold here. You have to set your attack here. Bro, really? You know the singer I'm working with? Did you just work with the singer? Did you just use that same exact microphone that I used in the same exact? You're in the same studio I'm in? No. Don't go off YouTube and set your things the way that everybody tells you to set it. Don't take notes every time you get a good snare sound on what EQ settings to use on the next snare sound, because it's not going to be the same, bro. It's not. The reality is the pros use fewer tools than you would think. The mix I'm talking about that I did yesterday with the client that's in New York, I think I used 7 plugins total, because I ended up having to put a limiter on the master fader to bump it up a little bit. 7 plugins on the entire mix. Okay? And this is because the guitar sound, the acoustic guitar was recorded very well. Didn't have to add anything to it. I take that back. I added a Pultec EQ just to give it a little bit of air, just to lift it up a little bit, because it was a little bit dark. So I lifted it up a little bit with a Pultec. Simple. 1 EQ. The electric guitar didn't do anything to it, simply because I recorded it. And I made it sound the way I wanted it and pressed record. How hard is that? It's simple. Okay? So I didn't use any plugins on the electric guitar because it was already done. It was done to the song. The drums, all I did was add a little bit of reverb, and I used a SSL bus compressor on the overall bus. That was it. The vocals, yes, I used a little bit of EQ, a little bit of compression, and a tiny de-esser because the guy was using a cheap-ass USB mic. So it had a little S issue. S issue? That's hard to say. Anyway, I digress. So that's what I'm talking about. Less is more. Hey, and if you want to know more about this, I've got a minimal mix challenge coming up. Go to minimalmixchallenge.com. I'll put a link to it right here. I'll put a link in the description as well. If you're listening to me on Apple Podcasts, I'll leave it in the show notes for you. Just go click that. Check it out. The Minimal Mix Challenge. It's a 5-day challenge where I'm going to challenge you to mix minimal with less, because less is more. Number 5. An important part of all of this is that your career is a business. It's not just music. It's not just about music. Your audio engineering career, your music production career, your studio ownership career is a business. You need to treat it as a business. You need to be not only great at mixing, but it's not going to pay the bills if you don't treat your business like a business. Bro, you got taxes, you got money coming in, you got money going out. You got to pay people sometimes. You got to do marketing. Where are you gonna do your marketing? How are you gonna book your clients? Are you gonna have your clients call you all the time? You gonna have your clients direct message you from Instagram? How are you? You gotta run this like a business, okay? So I gotta set you up. I'm gonna set you up as a business. I'm gonna help you get set up, all right? I got a couple of things for you that I'm gonna offer you here at the end. I'm glad you're hanging out with me for so long, but I got a couple of things I'm gonna offer you here in a little bit. Okay. You gotta learn marketing, networking. Bro, you want your clients sending clients. And you can do this. You can set all this up automatically. You can automate all this stuff, and it's awesome. Our website, we have a booking system on our website. Clients don't even have to call me. They can go click from my website. It takes them to the booking system. They decide what room they want to be in. They decide what they're going to do. They decide what engineer they're going to work with. They decide the day and the time. They can pay their deposit, which locks them in. It sends them an email going, hey, bro, you're locked in. We'll see you next Tuesday at 2 o'clock. Next Tuesday at 2 o'clock comes, they show up, we do the gig, they leave. 24 hours later, they get another email going, hey, bro, thanks for enjoying our studio. Here's a 50% coupon for next time you book. Who doesn't want to save 50%? So literally, they're going to go book another session right there. Okay? So we also offer a discount if they refer clients. We offer discounts, all kind of stuff. And it's all automated. Okay, we can dive. Actually, I've got a video. I'll link to it right here. I think I've got a video on our booking system, and I explained it to you and how it works and all that. So go check that out if that interests you at all. Okay. Mistakes are normal, man. Everybody's gonna make mistakes. You're gonna make mistakes in business. Okay. You're gonna make mistakes in setting up your business. You're gonna make mistakes in running your business. But every time you make a mistake, you need to learn about not to make that mistake again. If you make the mistake again, that's where you may have an issue. Okay, and you need to dive a little deeper on it. But yeah, look, I made mistakes. Look at 22 years we've been here in business in Los Angeles running a recording studio. Yes, we're Grammy winning. Yes, we've been nominated. Yes, there's gold and platinums on the wall. Absolutely. Not necessarily what is needed to be who you are and what you do. Yeah, it comes with the territory. I mean, 22 years. Come on, man. If I don't have a gold record in 22 years, I should retire and learn to fish. But yeah, come on. I mean, that was always a goal for me is to have a gold record, have a platinum record, get nominated for a Grammy. These are goals. You have goals. Go reach your goals. I mean, don't make your goals where you can't reach them. Like, oh, I want to make $1 million by the end of the year. No, it's possible, but you're probably going to be a little disappointed come January, December. You know what I mean? So, but I'm not saying you can't. Awesomely happy for you if you do. Please do go out there and do that. But to make it a goal for the third quarter, maybe try to hit a 6-figure year this year. Let's do that. So I want to encourage you, man, that mistakes are normal, but learning these lessons can save you years. Years of frustration, man. So try not to make the mistakes I've made. If you do have any issues, if you do have any questions, hit me up. I'll put my email right here, info@learnprorecording.com. Just reach out. I'm here for you. If you think any of this stuff has helped, hit like and subscribe down on the video. Come on now. Trying to get that push up on YouTube so they start pushing my stuff out in front of more people. You know what I mean? I do have a, speaking of Signal Flow, I've got a free Signal Flow course. If you guys have not seen the Signal Flow course, go grab it. It's right here. learnprorecording.com/basics. It's absolutely free. Just go get it. It explains patch bays. It explains digital signal flow, analog signal flow. It also shares with you some ideas about analog mixing, digital mixing, and also hybrid mixing. Blending the two. I almost said mixing the two, but that would be kind of like a lot of mixing. A lot of mixing going on. So, hey, hopefully this has helped you. Hopefully you got something out of this. We're gonna get out of here, man. We'll see you next week. Have a great week. Happy Monday. I always forget to say happy Monday. Happy Monday. Go forth and start your business, man. Make some money. Begin. Go ahead. You have my permission. And like I said, if you do have any questions, comments, or concerns, hit me up here. If you do want some help with mixing, I'll leave a link to a video right here which will give you some files and some ideas on minimal mixing. We'll see you next time. Donnie Baker, I'm out of here.